A tactical bomb has just been detonated in the heart of the NRL, and while every single club is scrambling to disarm it, Wayne Bennett is standing over the blast site with a smirk and a blunt message. The game's most successful coach has officially gone to war with the rest of the league over a radical new kickoff rule that could end a century of tradition in a single whistle blow. Imagine a world where conceding a try doesn't mean losing the ball, but actually choosing to take it back immediately to hunt for revenge. The 17 NRL clubs are united in a rare show of defiance, claiming this change will tear the very fabric of the game apart and turn rugby league into a manufactured mess. But Bennett, the master manipulator of the rulebook, isn't buying the hysteria. He has just delivered a verbal knockout to his rivals, telling the entire competition to stop their whining and adapt or die. This isn't just a debate about field position, it's a high-stakes chess match where the master coach believes he's already 3 moves ahead of everyone else. Subscribe to all sports updates. The controversy centers on a proposed 2026 rule where the team that has just been scored against gets the ultimate power, the choice to either kick off or receive the ball. For over 100 years, the restart has been a ritualistic exchange of territory, but the NRL headquarters wants to kill the momentum swings that lead to lopsided blowouts. Critics, including legends like Matty Johns and Broncos CEO Dave Donnery, are absolutely fuming, arguing that the struggle for possession is what makes the sport a true contest of wills. They fear the game is becoming a soft, over-officiated product that rewards failure rather than forcing teams to defend their way back into the match. The atmosphere in the league's boardroom is vibrating with hostility as executives warn of increased fatigue and player safety risks if teams are forced to defend back-to-back sets without a break. Yet, in the middle of this firestorm, Wayne Bennett remains the rule's most vocal executioner, laughing off the idea that the game's fabric is in any real danger. Bennett's logic is as cold and calculated as his coaching style, stripped of the sentimentality that seems to be paralyzing his peers. He argues that the key to the game has always been possession, and providing teams with the flexibility to secure the ball is a logical evolution, not a sacrilegious overhaul. During a secret briefing at NRL headquarters, the Supercoach reportedly stood firm while others wavered, insisting that if a team is offended by the new option, they can simply choose to kick off like they've done since 1908. To Wayne, the outcry is nothing more than a lack of imagination from coaches who are terrified of a landscape they can't yet control. He is essentially daring the rest of the competition to prove they are good enough to defend a set of 6 instead of begging the administration to protect them from their own defensive lapses. The storytelling here is a classic old guard versus innovator clash, with Bennett playing the role of the disruptor who thrives on the chaos of change. Check out all sports updates. The pushback from the clubs is unprecedented, with a leaked email from the club's consultation committee revealing a unanimous rejection of the proposal. They argue that such a fundamental shift should be trialed in the lower grades 4 years before ever seeing the light of day in the Premiership. There is a deep-seated fear that this rule is being fast-tracked just to satisfy a broadcast hunger for closer scorelines, effectively artificially leveling the playing field. Matty Johns hit the nail on the head when he suggested that the solution isn't changing the laws, but teaching players how to actually tackle and stop a team from going 100 meters in a single set. The tension is no longer just on the field, it is a political civil war between the suits in Sydney and the men on the sidelines who have to live with the consequences. While the clubs talk about concussion risks and fatigue, Bennett is talking about tactical superiority and the beauty of having a choice in a game of chance. Wayne Bennett's verbal grenades haven't just targeted the rule itself, but the character of those opposing it, creating a divide that won't easily be mended. He pointedly noted that in a recent match where a team only had 10% of possession, it wasn't because of the rules, but because they simply couldn't stop the opposition from scoring. His message is a brutal wake-up call: the NRL shouldn't be a welfare state for bad defensive teams. By supporting the rule, Bennett is betting on his own ability to coach a team that can exploit the new possession splits better than anyone else. He sees the flexibility as a weapon that can be used to grind opponents into the dirt or launch a lightning-fast counter-attack when momentum is slipping. This isn't just a coach supporting a rule, it's a predator supporting a new way to hunt, and the rest of the league is starting to realize they might be the prey. All Sports Updates is your home for the latest. The specific detail that has critics most worried is the circuit breaker effect, where a trailing team can effectively call their own timeout by choosing to receive. In the NBA, a coach can pause the game to stop a run, and critics argue this rule brings that same manufactured stop-start energy to a sport that is supposed to be about relentless flow. Imagine a grand final where a team scores a miraculous try to get within 2 points, only for the leading team to choose to receive the ball and kill the clock for the next 5 minutes. That is the nightmare scenario keeping fans awake at night, yet Bennett seems to relish the tactical complexity it adds to the captain's responsibilities. He believes that the ability to determine who gets the ball back adds a layer of psychological warfare that has been missing from the restart. For a man who has won 7 premierships, the prospect of a new variable to manipulate is likely the only thing that keeps the fire burning in his belly. As we look toward the 2026 season, the kickoff war is shaping up to be the most defining off-field battle of the modern era. The NRL is at a crossroads, caught between the tradition-heavy demands of the 17 clubs and the innovative, albeit controversial, vision of Peter V'landys and Wayne Bennett. The irony is that the rule change might actually backfire. A superior team could choose to kick off, pin a demoralized opponent deep in their own half, and force an even more devastating avalanche of points. This possibility makes the possession is key argument a double-edged sword that could slash through the very teams the rule was designed to help. Bennett knows this, and he likely welcomes it, because he has built a career on thriving when the rules are in flux. The storytelling of the NRL has always been about the survival of the fittest, and Bennett is signaling that the era of the whinger is officially over. The human element of this drama is the sheer exhaustion of the fans, who feel like they are being used as guinea pigs in a never-ending experiment. Every season brings a new tweak that requires a PhD to understand, and the kickoff rule feels like the final straw for many who just want to watch footy without a calculator in hand. The enforcer-turned-coach is telling us to embrace the change, but the terrace dwellers are mourning the loss of the game they grew up with. When Bennett says stop whinging, he isn't just talking to the clubs, he's talking to anyone who dares to value tradition over progress. It is a polarizing stance that solidifies his role as the game's ultimate pantomime villain for some and its greatest visionary for others. The stage is set for a round 1 showdown where every kickoff will be scrutinized not for its distance, but for the decision that preceded it. Ultimately, the destiny of the kickoff rule will tell us who really runs the NRL, the collective power of the 17 clubs or the singular, stubborn will of a master coach and the commission. If the rule is implemented, it will be a monumental victory for Bennett's philosophy of constant evolution, even if it leaves the rest of the game feeling alienated. If it's scrapped, it will be a rare moment of the fabric of the game actually holding firm against the winds of change. One thing is certain, when the siren sounds to start the next season, all eyes won't be on the scoreboard, but on the captain standing at halfway, forced to make a choice that could define his entire career. Wayne Bennett has laid down the gauntlet, and now the rest of the rugby league world has to decide if they are brave enough to pick it up. The battle lines are drawn, and the kickoff is just the beginning of the war. Thanks for watching All Sports Updates. Would you like me to create a breakdown of the other 3 major rule changes coming to the NRL in 2026?